Habib al-Adawiyya rahimahullah used to stand up on her rooftop after Isha and she would say, Ilahi, O Allah, the stars have vanished, the eyes have slept, the kings have locked their doors, but your door remains open. And every lover has found privacy with their beloved. And here I am standing before you. How beautiful a soul that already ascends to the Lord of the worlds in such a way that leaves the body completely still. Now, as you probably had a night of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala last night, how good was your nap after Fajr? You don't ever sleep like that in other times, do you? I always tell people that the best nap that you're ever going to have is that post-Hajj nap. After you do Arafah, and then Muzdalifah, and then Tawaf, and then the Jamarat, and then you knock out cold even in the middle of a tent. Now think about the Prophet ﷺ saying about the person who goes through all of the exhaustion of the first night in the grave, that he will sleep the sleep of a bridegroom. The scholars say this means two things. For one, it'll be a deep sleep. But secondly, you will only be awakened to what you love most. You wake up and you see the garden that your qiyam planted last night. And without you even knowing it, some believer that was dead received forgiveness by the virtue of someone alive and can now finally rest in peace because of that dua. Salamun hiya hatta matla' al-fajr. But while your body is exhausted after all that prayer last night, how rested does your soul feel? Qiyam is the joy of the believers in this world, and that's not just in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, but because it yields a Jannah in the heart before the Jannah that we seek in the next life. Abu Sulaiman al-Darrani rahimahullah said, لَوْلَا اللَّيْلِ لَمَا أَحْبَبْتُ الْبَقَاءَ فِي الدُّنْيَا. If it wasn't for the night prayer, I wouldn't want to live in this dunya a second longer. Now that doesn't mean you didn't cry, but even your tears are watering your garden in your grave. Abu Bakr ibn Abi Maryam said, I saw Wafa ibn Bishr after his death, so I asked him, what have you received? And he said, I've been saved after striving for a very long time. So I asked, and which deed did you find to be the most superior? And he replied and said, my crying out of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah rewards your fear by bringing you near. At the end of Surah Al-Alaq, right before Surah Al-Qadr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاسْجُدْ وَاقْتَرِبْ. So prostrate and come near. And as many of the scholars mention, you'll never come nearer to Allah than Laylatul Qadr. But on every other night of the year, you have that opportunity in the last third of the night to draw near to the Lord of the worlds. And in the barzakh, He'll bring you even closer. Qubays ibn Uqba says, I saw Sufyan al-Thawri in a dream after his death, and I asked him, what has Allah done for you? He said, I beheld my Lord with my own two eyes. So he said to me, Haniyan rida'i anka ya ibn Sa'id. Be at ease, O Ibn Sa'id, for I am pleased with you. You were devoted to standing in prayer when the night approached, with the tears of one longing and the heart of one deeply attached. Tahajjud is a lifestyle that can be more addictive than anything else in the world, and more rewarding than anything else in the world. And just as it's done in secret, it has its secrets in the soul as well. The best of gifts are the ones that are secret gifts from Allah to you, for which you haven't yet been rewarded with any praise in this dunya. And that's why Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said, فَضْلُ صَلَاةِ اللَّيْلِ عَلَى صَلَاةِ النَّهَارِ كَفَضْلِ صَدَقَةِ السِّرِّ عَلَى صَدَقَةِ الْعَلَانِيَةِ. The virtue of the night prayer over the day prayer is like the virtue of giving charity in secret over giving it openly. And Al-Hafidh ibn Rajab rahimahullah said, the night prayer is preferred over the day prayer because it is more private and closer to sincerity.